Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the top mistakes you are making at home right now while working out that's killing your results. Now, I know working out at home isn't always the funniest thing in the world, but if you avoid these top mistakes, I guarantee you're going to make some progress at home so that when you do get back to the gym, it's going to be a whole different story for you. Now, before we get started, if you like more videos like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit that bell notification for weekly videos. But now let's hop on to the top mistakes that you need to stop making at home. First reason you are making is you're not sticking to the basics when it comes to working out. Now, I know we see a lot of these fun exercises on Instagram, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you do not incorporate any compound basic movements into your current routine right now, you are missing out on a lot of gains that you can make. Now, what do I mean by compound movements? I'm talking about your squats, deadlift, hip thrust, chest press, and I know many of us do not have the equipment, but you can perform these exercises just using your body weight, and I'm going to show you in a bit on how to do that with dumbbells and with body weight. Now, the reason why compound movements are so important is simply because you are working out multiple muscle groups at the same time, meaning you're able to burn more calories because it's incorporating so many other muscle groups instead of just one muscle. Your routine right now only consists of a lot of isolation movements. We need to change that and make sure you're performing these compound movements in order to get the best results. Now, I always recommend to have at least 2 to 3 compound movements in your workout routine and starting off with them because you have the most energy at the beginning of your workouts, and you don't want your energy to go into waste just focusing on working out your biceps right away. Also, when you perform these basic exercises, since they work more than one muscle group, it's going to teach you how to engage your core so that you can learn how to breathe properly when you start lifting heavier. So how many of you have tried to get better at breathing, bracing your core, but you found some challenges when you're performing those exercises? Well, we need to practice that every single day, doing these exercises such as your squats, deadlift, bench, etc. These are going to help you practice your breathing technique that's going to help you overall. Now let's get to these basic compound movements that you can add into your current routine, either using a pair of dumbbells or just using your own body weight. The first compound movement we have are squats, and as you can see from this front view, we are targeting the abs, quads, and calves. Now you can see that my stance is a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, but you can play around with the stance to see what works best for you. Now as we go to the side view, you'll see that squats also targets your hamstrings, back, and glutes. Now when you are performing this movement, you want to make sure that you keep your arms up. This makes the movement a little bit more challenging. Brace your core, squat down, and exhale as you come up. If you're having trouble squatting under a bar, practicing with body weights and then transitioning it over to goblet squats is going to teach you how to keep your body upright and tight for heavy lifting later on. We have our deadlifts. Now this is called the conventional deadlift, which can help you improve your posture if done correctly, as well as your lower back strength. From the front view, we are targeting the upper back, core, and quads. You want to keep your feet at a shoulder width apart with your toes facing forward. Now from the side view, you can see we are also targeting the lower back, glutes, and hamstring. Now although this might look weird when you're performing with the body weight, once you master this body weight technique, it's going to be really easy for you to use a dumbbell or a barbell afterwards. This is one of my favorite movements to get better at my deadlift lifts. Movement we have is my favorite all-time glute exercise, the hip thrust. This targets more than just your glutes. As you can see, it's hitting your hamstring, core, and quads. And this is the best way to hit your glutes simply because you get full hip extension. Now, when you're performing this, you want to keep your chin tucked in throughout the whole movement to avoid neck strain, with your stance wider than shoulder width apart and your feet slightly pointed out. Last exercise we have are walking lunges, and doing this is going to help increase your balance and activate your core. It's also targeting your glutes, quads, and hamstring. A little tip for you is if you want to target more of your glutes, take a wider stance. To target your quads, take a more narrow stance. Now, the second mistake you are making is changing your routine way too much. Now, if you have a different routine every single week, we need to pause and think about this. You do not need to have a different routine every single week simply because you're going to get more sore, which we'll talk more about later. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to measure your own progress overall. When you change your routine way too much, you don't give yourself the opportunity to progress and get better at those specific exercises and be able to master them correctly. And because progress comes in different ways, changing it way too much is just going to be harder for you to be consistent. Now, I recommend to have a workout routine that lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks that pretty much have the same thing every single week and every single day. This is going to help you get stronger and build your overall stamina before changing your workouts. And just keep in mind that the more you perform and exercise, you're going to get better at it versus trying all of these different exercises and not doing them correctly. Now, of course, it takes patience and it takes time. But if you stay consistent in a routine versus switching it around all the time, I guarantee you're going to see a better results. All right, so the third mistake you are making is that you think being sore all the time equals progress. And I'm going to tell you, no, that is not the case. Whether you are sore or not, it doesn't mean that one or the other is going to make more progress. All it means is your body is not used to the intensity and it is trying to recover. And this can happen when you are in a new routine and you're performing different exercises that you've never performed before and your body is trying to get used to it. This happens 24 to 72 hours after a workout, but you shouldn't think that just because your routine isn't making you sore, it's not making you progress. That is completely wrong. Now, if you have been following a routine for more than 6 to 8 weeks, you shouldn't be sore anymore after the second week or so. Now, the only way you will be sore when you are in a consistent routine is if you change up your volume variables. Now, if you watched my previous video about how to grow your glutes at home, I talked about volume, and that basically means your reps, sets, tempo, burner exercise, and weights. If you change some of these variables up, it might cause your body to be more sore than usual, but you shouldn't feel like you can't get out of bed every single day. Some things to really help you out is foam rolling and stretching. Now, foam rolling is one of my favorite things because it targets some of those muscle tensions that you have or even knots that you have around your body that you need to loosen up. And here I am using the Roga foam roller that I absolutely love. This is one of the best ones that I found, and it's also on Amazon, linked down below for you. But I love this. It targets the perfect spot and the firmness is absolutely amazing. Now, stretching definitely helps release those muscle tension as well, but also decrease any tightness in any areas that you have in order to increase your range of motion. Now, I want you to comment down below if you foam roll or stretch at all, because I know this is something that we tend to skip, but is actually one of my favorite things to do because it just feels so good afterwards. So we are on to our last mistake, and that is you are not eating enough or you're overeating and it's not in alignment with your goals. And this is something that I see a lot of my clients struggle when they come to me and they're like, you know, I've been eating X amount, but I'm not losing weight, or I'm eating X amount, but I'm not gaining weight. And through my Unleash Your Fit program, we actually walk through this step by step. You can check more information down in the box below. But the reason why this is so important is because if you want to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. And that basically means eating less than you burn. Now, if you're trying to gain weight, you want to eat at a caloric surplus, which means eating more than you burn. In order to do both of these, you need to know your maintenance calories. Now, what is your maintenance calorie? The calorie amount that you can consume each day without gaining or losing weight. And I go in depth on how to do this in my nutrition ebook guide based on your body, gender, and your activity levels to help you find this and really get into the nitty-gritty of your macros, whether it is for weight loss or gaining weight. But if you don't know these numbers, it's going to be really challenging for you to have a baseline of where to start in order to tackle and reach those goals. Now, if you're like, Sam, but I just don't want to track my calories. If you are someone that have had an eating disorder in the past or have health problems, I would suggest you to seek a medical professional first before going into calorie counting. But if you are a healthy individual and you don't have any medical problems, I definitely recommend tracking calories as it starts. Even if it is something that's really tedious, it's going to teach you how to portion size and understand how much calories is in the foods that you're currently eating. It all starts with you putting yourself outside of your comfort zone and doing something that you've never done before, because you achieve your goals when you do something that you haven't done before. Otherwise, you're gonna stay in the same spot. So that is it for the top mistakes that you are making at home right now that's killing your gains. I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lot. If you like more videos like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit that bell notification to get notified for weekly videos. And if you want to learn more fitness tips and tricks on a daily basis, follow me on Instagram at SuperlySam, and I will see you next time. Bye.